Postulation day for the parliamentary elections of January 11th, 2024 was November 22nd, 2023. After the elections, the government was sworn in on May 3rd, 2024. That government lost the majority support of Parliament on May 20th, 2024. As a result, snap elections were called and consequently held on August 19th, 2024. We today have just witnessed the oath-taking of the Council of Ministers, who has the support of the majority of the members of Parliament that were sworn in as a result of the August 19 parliamentary elections on September 20th, 2024. As you can see, and I am sure also agree, based on the sequence of events of the last year or so, St. Martin is in need of care at this moment. The period aforementioned, so just over a year, has been one of transitioning into an election period, elections, transitioning into the formation period, the formation, transitioning into elections for a second time, elections, transitioning into the formation period, and now today, the completion of yet another formation of government within 1 year. All of this undeniably taking government's attention away from fully focusing on governing. And that at a crucial time of recovering, along with the rest of the world, from the economic impact of a pandemic, the likes of which the world hadn't seen in over 100 years. And that on top of recovering from a catastrophic hurricane with the intensity and negative economic impact, the likes of which St. Martin had never seen before. Our country needs care at this moment. You, Prime Minister, Ministers, Minister of Plenipotentiary, are the group that has been indirectly, democratically chosen by the people of St. Martin to give our country the care that it needs at this moment. I will repeat that sentence and then I will proceed to dissect it as well. Prime Minister, Ministers, Minister of Plenipotentiary, you are the group that has been indirectly, democratically chosen by the people of St. Martin to give our country the care that it needs at this moment. You are the group, not individuals. So work as such. Do not operate as nor in silos. So do not take decisions without considering if and how it may affect another ministry. Indirectly, democratically chosen by the people of St. Martin. You all have just taken the oath here today as Prime Minister, Minister, Minister of Plenipotentiary of your country, because a majority in Parliament has of their free will and mandate put their trust in you. A mandate that has been bestowed upon the majority in Parliament and Parliament in general by all the voters and all of the non-voters of this country as well. Yes, non-voters as well, because some think there are only consequences when you choose, vote, or make a choice. But alas, being complacent has its consequences as well. But I digress. Back to dissecting, and the main part, the needed care. Our finances are structurally running low, and the pressure on our utilities is high. There is an imbalance in the judicial chain, and this is in part why justice, law and order are under threat and in need of urgent attention. Our environment is a vital part of our very existence and is suffering from years of neglect and abuse. Our infrastructure has been in critical condition for some time now. Our tourism product is under the threat from internal and external forces, namely indecision and competition, respectively. The high cost of living has our people's quality of life steadily dwindling, and our future may be lost if we do not tackle the educational, social, and economic ailments plaguing our youth. Although politics always plays a hand in all that is going on, and although you all are politicians, you are a person first. We in this country are a people of persons who care about our loved ones, our friends and family, our neighbors, each other. If you doubt what I'm saying, just take a look at our history of jollification. So, at this crucial moment in time, this moment of administering the needed aid, we need to see, hear, and care for each other's needs, our country's needs. Making the right decisions for all the people of this country and not being complacent about anything. Semper progrediens, always progressing. Prime Minister, as you may have noticed, but if it has not been evident, let me clearly say, I am aiming to speak your language to your colleague ministers as well. The patient is in your care. We are counting on all of you, in line with your oath, our democratic principles such as, but not limited to, good governance and the rule of law, to together as a team give the care needed via sound, cohesive, holistic, and effective policy, and in doing so, keeping the patient in a stable condition for 4 years long. Godspeed to all of you on this journey. Congratulations to the people of St. Martin, and congratulations to each and every one of you. May all of you be granted much wisdom and discernment in your task ahead. God bless you and your families, and God bless our sweet St. Martin land.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
This is the dynamics of our family life, of many of our family life. Step parenting is just a part of us. But when people are forming relationships, they don't think sometime about the children. And look something now. Let's complicate it, okay? Let's put it now. One child, or two children. Let's start with the one first. One child. Let's put Gabriel on the picture first. One child has 3 grandparents. But this one divorced. So guess what? One child have about 5 grandparents in 2 households. Let's say Arlene, parents didn't like how Felix dealt with Arlene, because Arlene carried her story. Arlene tell her parents, listen, he break my heart, he did that, Tara knows what, boom, Felix go over, and then the grandchild goes by the grandparents. And the grandparents decide to make thunder. So Arlene decide, I don't want to turn my child against his father, so I'm keeping quiet. She said nothing about the father. But the grandparents now are very disturbed Because this man, the first time he come, he said he was going to marry her, then he leave her, and within 1 year time, he married a different woman. The grandparents did tell, listen, boy, let me tell you something. You see that woman there? She take away your mama man. And that's how we just talk, eh? Oh, I forget we recorded. Boy, control the language, oh. But it's how we just talk. And the grandparents said, whenever you go by that house, avoid that woman. She is poison. And this child must come over. It's how we just talk, eh? This child must come over to spend time with daddy, but in spending time with daddy, juicing is inevitable, it's unavoidable. He has to meet there. And then they have a baby coming on the way. But the child have been told, avoid her by all costs. And then she bring a baby on the way, the baby come, the child observes, the baby is with daddy, I am not with daddy. So what grandmama said, what grandpapa said is true. And then you have rivalry between blended families. The dynamics of blended families. How do we navigate through these dynamics? How do we really get through all of this? You have all these influence must come together for the emotional, psychological, educational, financial, all the well-being of this child. All these influence. But when people hooking up, they don't think about all that. All they're thinking about is this. So, let's look at it. I'll stay at this point. Are you following me so far? I'll stay at this point. Now, these two adults must parent this child. Juicent is in his life, is his wife. She has to be involved in the parenting process. She can't say, I don't want to anoint to the child. But Caribbean people sometimes we do that. But she has to be involved in his life. How are they going to ensure that Gary is well parented and Gary grow up to love his baby brother who is on the way? How are they going to make sure of that? Some of us are in this room and you have felt the pain of what I just explained to you. Some of us go through this. We grew up with our mothers. Well, you grew up with your mothers. You can't go by daddy house because of daddy wife or daddy woman, whichever way it go. And that hurts. That hurts, family. It's painful. And the chance of seeing it repeat and having it repeat in our blessed country is high. Even 40% is high. That's a lot of children that can be affected by these dynamics.
Let me ask Samuel something, because Samuel pointed out, if I'm not mistaken, that his mother played an instrumental role, right, in his development. But then we see, him taking on this very active social life, right? Standing up for people's rights and so on. Who else may have contributed towards shaping his worldview? If you could share that with us.
Eldridge was a reader.
Okay.
He used to read not just his Bible, but he used to read books of great leaders. And Eldridge, if you had to really give him an educational level, you would have to call him a doctor, because he was just good. And his knowledge came a lot from reading. He used to spend sometimes the whole night reading from you could have talked to him about any subject of any great leader. You name it, and he would be able to tell you about that individual. So apart from his Christian bringing up and his mother, his reading, and all of his elders, his aunts, he would go by any of his aunts and sit down and just talk, by his cousins, by his sisters, because his character was a people person. And he was not just a people person looking for anything in return. He was a people person to see, what can I do? How can I help? How can we make a difference? Why is things like this? And that's one of the things, he had a keen eye to see how something is wrong in terms of his people. Let me put it this way. And that is one of the things that made him who he was. But don't ever mistake, apart from his mother, his Bible. When he we have something we call Sabbath school in our church. And he would not miss the Sabbath school, because in the Sabbath school is where you would learn and express the deeper understanding of Christian characters. So deep in his heart, he wasn't an angel by not the shortest nor the longest measurement, but his inner him was based on Christian principles. And that is one of the things where a lot of leaders don't understand. To lead a people, to be a Moses, you have to go to God for true guidance. And that is where he gets his strength.
That's very. I love that. I love that because some of us have some of us love to read over here also, and I can totally relate. But when it comes to the reading part, but I love the fact that you emphasized how crucial the crucial role of the family, right, played in shaping his consciousness, as well as to show that he's a product of his community, always wanting to respond to what he sees and not just simply act as if it's out of his hands. So I really love that. I think that's very important. And the reason why I want to pull this out, because it's important, especially in this time, as we, how you say, go along with what we are seeing on St. Martin with the current development. You see a number of people are rising up, seeking leadership positions, but oftentimes they miss a number of crucial gems, crucial examples. And some of them believe as though they are doing that, what they're doing is for the first time, not knowing that it has already been done in the past. You see, so that's why I think this is so important, especially for young people, right? For young people to understand the leaders we had in our community that played a role, in how St. Martin is, and how much more work we still need to do. So I really appreciate that part. Desiree, you mentioned that, Elridge was like a father to you. But tell me something. With all of his activism, with all of his reading, with all of his family visits and Sabbath school, how did that relationship pan out? Was it that you would just go and stick to his hip and then he'd take you all over? How did that look? Because there's a reason I'm asking that question.
Well, I don't even know where to begin, because it's not that I went out seeking for him to be, that kind of father figure. It's as if all of us nieces and nephews belong to him, because he didn't have any physical children of his own. So we were all kind of like his children, as Clevie said, my cousin Clevie said, he would come for us on Sunday morning to go to the beach. But it was so much more than just taking us to the beach. He would really look out for us, or he would show us a few things, even if we didn't understand it or we didn't know. He'd be like, you know what happened? When you're with your friends, you would move a certain way, you would do this, you would do that. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple of stories that my mother always repeating to this day, that Eldrick used to go to school with 2 sandwiches. And if he didn't go to school with 2 sandwiches, one of his sisters would have to go to school with 2 sandwiches, because he have to find somebody to give a sandwich to.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's always hungry. But he also need to eat too, because he need to have his strength. So he gonna give his sandwich. He gonna walk with the next sandwich for somebody else, because they need to eat. So it's an innate ability of him to take care of everybody else around him and to make sure everybody is good.
SXM, your social and health insurance is SXM, your social and health insurance is.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social and health insurance is.
It's time for a new brand that is as bold, vibrant, and colorful as the island of St. Martin, with colors drawn from our diversity, cultural heritage, and nature. Our breathtaking beaches, waters, and sun, the majestic brown pelican, our national symbol, the radiant yellow sage, our national flower, the historic border monument signifying the Dutch and French sides, our exciting cruise, yachting, and boating ports, renowned Maho Beach and St. Martin Airport, the hub to the Caribbean. All these parts come together to create the shape of the island of St. Martin. More than a logo. It's a new brand that engages, excites, and will inspire travelers to book. It's time to tell the St. Martin story, to reintroduce travelers to St. Martin, to honor our past, to embrace our present, and shape our future. Our culture and diversity, Dutch and French sides, unrivaled cuisine, twice the nightlife, entertainment, and shopping, cruises, boating, and yachting, twice the adventure, exploration, and relaxation, splendid and scenic accommodations, Pinel, Tentamar, and island hopping in the Caribbean. Whatever your taste, St. Martin has more. Experience twice the Caribbean. St. Martin.
Again with news on the weather, a flash flood warning remains in effect for low-lying and flood-prone areas of St. Mary, Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine and Clarendon.
Now over in Portland, blocked roads caused by landslides have been the order of the day, causing misery for residents. We have the details in this report.
The hurricane season ends in just 4 days, but it is not ending quietly, and the people of Portland are feeling the brunt of the inclement weather. Each day seemingly brings a new disaster site. Sunday was a breakaway in Bangor Ridge. Tuesday, a major landslide along Coopers Hill Road. The landslide blocked a part of the main road. Until work crews arrive, the community can't be accessed by vehicles. Anne-Marie Vaz is MP for Eastern Portland.
What we are seeing is that we are having landslides now all across the constituency. As a matter of fact, it's across the parish because it started in West Portland from earlier in the week, and now we are experiencing similar situations. Cooper's Hill is blocked. We are waiting on a tractor to clear this critical road, which is the road to the hospital. We have had trees falling on homes, a lot of flooding, and people are cleaning up. And we are getting the agencies and trying to get private contractors to come and help us to clean up so that we can get back to some normalcy as soon as possible.
This was the scene in the parish capital Monday evening. Shin-high water gushing through yards and the streets like a river in spate. The end result, the road to the public hospital covered with debris, while the yards and gates of a few residents also blocked. One farmer said 2 of his goats were washed away in the heavy rains.
If you do we can't have goat, and the crop is spoiled, the crop and planting, the animal level. I lose goat and take cramps, I don't lose 2 goat a cramp.
Some roads in the parish have now been reduced to single-lane traffic. We saw some motorists trying to navigate what now resembles obstacle courses. Other motorists, though, have not ventured out, which has had an impact on schools.
Teacher can't go to school, children can't leave go to school, and things like that.
Some of the residents and small business operators affected by the flooding sprung into action and began cleanup work Tuesday afternoon after the rain eased, a sign they are willing to help themselves. But they say they need some help from the state.
Look what I go on now. You see here, sir? This is a crossroad for the river. And I see twice water meet right here, sir. So you see, not until the government build a grind from down there forward up, the community now stop flood out. These 2 rivers need a grind. You understand? So maintenance. So right now we are saying, watch now, Mr. Government, whosoever you be, watch now, project in the community. See?
And with more rain in the forecast and some low-hanging, glum-looking clouds around, many of the residents fear they are not in the clear just yet. Prince Moore, TVJ News.
A dismal performance in the last 9 years. That's how PNP President Mark Golding has again described the leadership of the current JLP administration. He told reporters at a press briefing that all the announcements made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness were mere election promises.
What is needed is strong and capable leadership to drive down electricity costs in Jamaica through a transformation of the energy sector. The PNP has a plan to achieve this and a shadow minister with a track record of achieving it. We will bring modern legislation as we've done before and massive investment to the energy sector. And for that, our record speaks for itself.
Now, Shadow spokesman on energy Philip Paulwell says the energy sector is being grossly mismanaged under the JLP government.
To solve the energy crisis, you have to have laser-like focus on both energy generation and energy transmission and distribution. It won't be solved by some half-baked, cynical, hand-wringing scheme at the 11th hour on the eve of national elections.
The PNP president also took a jab at the PM's Aspire program, which he announced last week. Aspire Jamaica is the government's new policy framework for inclusive growth. It outlined 6 critical pillars for transforming Jamaica into a modern, productive, and prosperous society. These are access to economic opportunity for all, safety and security, people, infrastructure development, reform of the bureaucracy, and economic diversification or new industries.
Aspire, as his new program is called, is just another PR exercise. It does not inspire and can only expire. The JLP government will continue to fail the people. Furthermore, this is a government without credibility to back up promises. 8 of their members of parliament, including the Prime Minister himself, are under investigation for the corruption offense of illicit enrichment.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.